Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm well. How are you?
Very good, very good. Welcome to our today's session, wherein we're gonna discuss about the latest trends in doors and window systems.
Yes.
So, for our viewers, I mean, by the time more and more are joining in, I would like to introduce Ms. Pallavi Sareen, who's the co-founder and interior designer for Time Design Studio based out of Ludhiana. Their works are primarily a showcase for their customers in terms of interior design. And Ms. Pallavi has been in, with Time Design Studio since its inception. And as far as Alcoy is concerned, I understand many people know that we are into premium fenestration systems. So, how are you, Pallavi, today?
I'm very well. Thank you. Thank you for
Great.
having me.
It's always a pleasure to have young architects and, to have them share their views on fenestration, which is, as of now, a very, very important, I would say, element in architectural design. So, are we good to go with our questions?
Yes, I suppose. Yes. Sure.
Okay, so let's start with our first question. So, as for interior design is concerned, we've had many architects, and we've always discussed this topic with respect to I would say architecturally in terms of facade, but we've never
Right.
kind of discussed in detail in terms of the importance of fenestration from interior design perspective. So one thing I want to know is that what do you think about that? And how would you like to share your views with our subscribers? And the second thing, what do you think are the latest trends which help you in fenestration, which help you design better?
Right. So to answer your first question about windows or fenestration in general for interior design, many people think that involving an interior designer from the stage of architecture is might not be required, or they think it's a set pattern that you need to hire an architect first, and when the architecture work is done, then you hire an interior designer, or vice versa, howsoever they feel like. But they do not understand that having the proportion as per the interior design is so specifically important. For example, you're setting up a window as per your space management, but you forget to leave spaces on both the ends, or the proportion is not in the center. If I talk specifically about classical homes, symmetry is what we look for, and everything has to be in a set format. But sometimes people do not take that thing into consideration. It just doesn't come to their mind. But generally, it is very, very important for us to be part of the start, like we should be involved from the joinery details itself, so that if in case there are any changes or anything that we need to do in terms of placements or the heights, we can work around with that. Similarly, for ceilings, if the down ceiling is coming up to a level where you actually need the windows and the doors to come in alignment, there is where it gets a little trickier for us if we are involved in the later stage. Then, if I talk about the trends, the thing that is really in is the openness. Everybody wants more space, they want bold doors, and they need everything out there. So, if I talk about Punjab specifically, it's now the new trend that's coming up is everybody needs larger windows, larger than life image of their houses, and again, keeping it maintainable as well. So, the first thing that comes to their mind is that they should have open, wide, large windows, and there should be easy slider operators. It has to go hand in hand. So the trend that is really in these days, or what we are getting as a feedback from our clients, is that they really need big doors, big windows. They should be huge enough, and keeping all of that in mind, it should be very, very easy to operate. So these are two things that are really in now.
Great. So I've been noting down a few points which actually relate with our experience also when we do fenestration systems, and the primarily something that is really important from an internal or interior design perspective is that yes, it often happens that in terms of matching the fenestration, I would say lines in the facade, sometimes the interior layout of furniture gets missed out, and suddenly
Right.
the customers feel that oh, I mean, I have an openable window on the left hand side, but that has been covered by a lack of mobility in terms of the furniture layout, which is now placed in a manner wherein a person will not have a direct access to that particular fenestration. So these are often
Exactly.
things that happen. And
Exactly.
also, in which case, obviously, it is very important that the openings of fenestration, or for that matter, I would say the picture windows for fixed windows that we give, should be aligned with the internal furniture design. And obviously, the interior designer perspective is very important.
Exactly.
Similarly, also when the curtains kind of are drawn, and we have the option of either drawing them from center out or probably taking it from one direction to the other, there also it is very important that the shutter that has been kept for ventilation is probably on the side wherein it is easy for the customer to actually get ventilation, and it is not covered by curtains at the end of the day.
Exactly.
And the third thing that probably also happens when you mention the ceiling down details, etc., is that often, customers, when they have casement doors and windows, they end up taking a mesh shutter inside. And
Exactly.
suddenly it happens that when the fall ceiling is down from the, I would say, slab level, and with the perspective of having a full height opening, the mesh shutter is not able to open inside, and it hits the, I would say, the down ceiling. So
True.
very rightly, touched points, and probably I could relate my experience to extrapolate from what you said. So those are the two, three things which are, I would say, rightly said, and the subscribers or people who are interested in actually or building their houses should be considering.
True.
So that's a good thing. And in as far as the trends as well, whatever you mentioned in terms of the facade, the space management, full height, large windows, easy operations, we are fully with you on that. So okay,
Right.
let's move on to our next question. Let's say I'm sure that you end up designing not only, I would say, commercial spaces, but also residential spaces, and probably some interiors of some, I would say, small cafes, etc., etc. Now, how does
Right.
fenestration play a role in that? I mean, how does the fenestration design differ from an interior design perspective when you're designing these spaces?
See, if I talk about residence and commercial, we've done a lot of residential projects in which we've done a lot of renovations also and interiors, specifically where we have worked with a lot of facade openings or places that need a lot of natural light, or any way fenestration has played an important part. And whereas on the other side, we've done a lot of restaurants, open bars in and around Punjab, or I would say in Delhi as well. So if I talk about commercial spaces, I would say it's easier to choose as compared to a residential fenestration, because in that the design, the style in residence is more complex, and the design style that needs to be followed needs to be measured inch by inch. But when you talk about commercials, you are already there are two kinds of them. One is that it's a rented property and you're working around that, so your expectations are very limited, your requirements are very, very specific, and as per that you're able to make it go further. So in commercial aspects, the only thing that matters to the client is, the first and very foremost thing is that it should adapt to the existing requirements that they have. It should be able to bring in the properties of what fenestration is going to provide them, along with creating the aesthetics. The colors to be chosen in terms of commercials are not that picky. They are okay with mostly dark grays and blacks, and that gels up with any type of interiors. If I talk about restaurants, if I talk about offices. But on the other hand, if I talk about residential, that's a tricky place to be. Every little thing has been kept in mind. They want slimline. Now, I think it's very important in terms of residential requirement to educate the client very much. So we make sure the requirements that they have from each and every single window or door opening or any window opening should be specifically noted down. For example, in one of our clients' houses, they need the sill level to be on a zero level. They wanted slimline, and they want to be able to access it without even stepping up. So in some places it is trickier because of the interiors or the exteriors, depending. But when you talk about bringing in specific detail to that, I think alignment is really important. Apart from that, colors in residential play a very, very important role. Sometimes the
Mhm.
client feels like matching it with the polish. Sometimes they want it to go off balance. Sometimes it's not the right kind of white, if I may say. So obviously there is a lot of when, but if I talk about in comparison, commercial spaces are comparatively easier to plan as compared to residence.
Okay, so what I understand from your answer is that when you talk about commercial spaces, there is a set color tone probably or palette which mostly customers are looking at, or probably there are some color tones or palette probably which enhance the working experience of the inhabitant, because that, I
Yes,
mean, after houses, that those are the places that we spend the most while working. And frankly speaking, I think these days people have become more work conscious, so, or let's say more inclined towards working, so they end up spending maybe more time than they spend even in their houses. So there
exactly.
probably I understand you have to kind of look at the enhancement of interiors with respect to even lifting the moods, and I would say people who are kind of inhabiting the place and working all through the day.
Exactly. I would say there are a lot of things that go behind, commercial spaces. Restaurant F&B is completely different. But when you talk about
Correct,
offices and if you talk about how aligned the structures are, they want it simple, they want it quick. They don't want
correct,
any hardware fussing out, or they don't want any bowls, tower bowls, acting up. So they want everything crisp and clear.
clear. And also, my experience has been for small spaces like I would say cafes and restaurants, etc. Is that always probably the owners and architects have come back to us to kind of give us area, I mean fenestration, which, or let's say window systems which can actually open out the inside to outside, from the point
Right.
of view that they would be looking at more slide and fold. Why? Because they will have a small balcony, or for that matter, whatever space, little space at very, I would say, expensive rental places that they'd have their outlets. They would
Right.
just want to cover each square inch
Each
of
and
space
everything.
by kind of having, and they really don't want that anything should be obstructing either the view, or for that matter even adding some more people to sit if they are probably designing it from scratch. So yeah,
Right.
so when people come to us for restaurants and these kind of commercial spaces, they want probably slide and fold or probably large slidings. But yes, when it comes to, I would say, office spaces, yes, you're right. People want very simple systems, very neat lines, and at the same time, I understand that may be coming from also so as to have less maintenance, because
Right.
more complicated in terms of you make it more maintenance it will require. And you rightly said that yes, in residences, I mean, again, when the number of inhabitants are more,
Yes.
so there, obviously, you kind of get kind of, I would say, it's a very tricky situation wherein you have to kind of get the family together to use particular spec and particular type of window, etc., etc. So
Right.
very rightly said, and all three, I would say, spaces were well defined. So I think now let's move on to probably our next question, which is more to do with the, I would say, elements or fittings that go into the fenestration systems or the aluminum windows, etc. So obviously, again, most of the times the fenestrations, again, as I said, most of the architects always look at it from an external perspective more than an internal perspective. And I understand with you, we should be getting some good insights about how important is the accessory, the color of accessories, or probably how important the color of the window, the texture of the window really affects the I would say the interiors. I mean, this is to excluding structural calculations, excluding, I would say, thermal, etc., etc., but purely from a design perspective, interior design perspective. What do you think that is available? Are you happy with what's available? Or probably what is it that you would probably want the fenestration or the window people to actually add on so that it enhances the overall, I would say, interiors of the space?
See, if you talk about if we are happy and contented with the kind of fittings that we have, I would say not exactly, because if it is in our hands, we'll color them out, and because client is like, okay, they are okay with the aluminium sections, they like the longevity that it brings to the room, or the openness that it brings to the room. But at the end of the day, the question comes is, do they have more color in it? Or
Hmm.
can we change the handle to the aesthetics that match our interiors? Or
Correct.
what if we change the shape? What is the look and feel of the product? So that is where it becomes trickier, and it gets a little difficult for us to make our clients understand that there is a set pattern that needs to be followed in these things. So I guess the visibility factor is something that I would want to bring in notice to the fenestration business, or to you in specific, that yes, no doubt we give them like 8 to 11 options in terms of designs and colors and textures. But sometimes the visibility factor plays a very important role, in which it ends up sometimes making fenestration, aluminum fenestration, taken aside and let the wooden doors come in. So what I mean to say is, if I talk about classical homes, people really fancy really good deadbolts, or the lashes that come in for around 2 to 3 feet, and those big long handles at the places where they think that it really adds to the feature of the interiors. Over there, when we are limited with some limitations regarding our handles or our covers, then obviously it takes over. But if I talk about aluminium windows and doors in particular, as they are, the things that really matter to the client is easy locking system. The visibility factor is kept aside if they are looking for practicality. So easy locking system, the look and feel, the comfort. Sometimes in some aluminum fixtures, the client comes up to us and say, we are not able to open it right. If you might have seen in some of the locks, it is the other way around. The bolt moves the other way around, or it's not the generic way of us. Generally, we are used to using a doorknob from a right center. It goes down, you open and you go in. So that's the easiest way. But sometimes those niches in which the click clock works, or the pushing and everything, that really makes it a little uncomfortable for the client. So keeping apart from how it looks and feels, the comfort of channelizing it easily, and just, I guess those 11 colors are never going to be enough, but making them more viable and practical is what the client needs at the end. The only thing all our clients say is that we need it in our budget, we need it maintainable. I know these two things are poles apart, but if we talk about maintaining them at a level, at least if they are spending it on a greater level, the only thing that they really want is comfort. So if you're able to provide the comfort, everything else goes into back.
Okay. So again, I'll sum up Pallavi's answer, wherein she started with mentioning that obviously she's not very happy with the color options that probably all fenestration companies provide to architects. And probably if I have to kind of, put my, I would say, comment to it, is that obviously feasibility is a very big role when it comes to giving multiple color options. Why? Because again, although we have a sea of colors that probably can be given, but yes, sometimes it gets limited by the quantity that probably you have in terms of manufacturing that particular window. I mean, I'm sure that going forward there'll be more volumes that will add up, and then we'll be able to kind of add more and more colors. Again, it also contradicts the comfort factor. Why? Because the customer, when he's getting an interior job done, he's also very impatient and he wants it in, let's say, 20 days, 15 days. And that's kind of impossible time to, kind of add on a new color. So I mean, I'm hoping that this problem is not probably of any reluctance from the vendor side and not of the architect who actually demanding it, because that's in their right. But I think more to do with the industry kind of reaching that critical mass where multiple colors just become, everyday choice for the architects. And the second that Pallavi mentioned, other than the colors, was obviously the options in handles. Now that I personally I'm in favor of, and probably good takeaway for many fenestration people if they are watching. Yes, we should have some good amount of options for handles. Why? Because when you have a neoclassical, a classical, a contemporary, now these are not just names. These basically are, I would say, definitions of how a certain architectural building is probably designed and made.
Right.
And all of these definitely require an identity. So we cannot be having a classical handle for a contemporary application and a contemporary handle for a classical application. Why? Because these small things disturb the, I would say, the painting that the architect is trying to kind of, construct for the customer. So I'm in favor of that, and definitely we take that suggestion well. In fact, not to kind of pinpoint it particularly, but we also, looking at this trend, have introduced an option in all our systems with contemporary as well as classic mullions. So for classical houses, we are able to give broader interlock mullions, and for, I would say, contemporary houses, we are able to give slim sections. Now that was designed considering this aspect in mind, rather than do, and we just did away with the normal convention of having one type of a system and trying to sell it to everyone. So it's a good suggestion, and we take it very well. And afterwards, obviously, Pallavi kind of, I think, summed up the whole answer through my question, saying that at the end of the day, the customer wants comfort. So probably he should get the right color in the right time with the right handle, and it should be easy to use. So
I like
obviously,
that
this is
thing a lot. Yeah. But still, if
so.
we
So
really sum it up, yes. Even if they don't get the color, the any color that they're wanting, or even it is done in a particular time. At the end of the day, when they're able to open it swiftly, they're able to use the product easily. That's a win-win situation for both of us, I guess.
I'm with you on that. I think that was very idealistic. But having said that, we are all for it. Why? Because yes, we just have to wait for that critical mass to kind of, for the industry to reach. Why? Because again, we definitely know that wooden is the biggest market, and that is why many small vendors have designed multiple options of accessories for wood. Right,
True.
and wooden is a very flexible material as well. Why? Because you can just put anything and everything, whereas in terms of these pre-engineered systems, you really need to pre-design the accessories also, or probably pick up an accessory and then design the system. But having said that, yes, volumes and critical mass is something which definitely will help us to overcome this problem of multiple choices that as of now we are not able to give to the architects to their satisfaction. How much we may say that I mean, we are satisfied with whatsoever we are giving them. But okay, let's hope for the best that the industry grows and all of us are on the same page in terms of demanding something and we being able to supplying something. So
Right.
okay, let's move on. Let's move on to our next question. How much of glass plays a role in I would say fenestration systems from an internal or let's say interior design perspective? I mean, does it really change your drapery, XYZ, and all those things? So, how much does the glass make a difference?
If I talk about glass in general, also nowadays, if I talk about interiors or if I talk about wall panelings, so there is not much of walls left altogether. So, if I'm supposedly working on a drawing room or I'm working on a formal lounge area, uh, because maybe the aspect, maybe the howsoever the architecturally space planning has been done, sometimes we end up having no walls at all, probably because those formal lounges have an entry doors that are of glass. Then they might have a window that overlooks their lawn or the or an element that they want to showcase through that. So again, that wall is gone. Then the third wall, sometimes half taken or sometimes in an L formation taken, also doesn't give out a lot of choices for us to plan. So yes, glass sometimes acts as, it has its pros and cons, but sometimes it acts as a repeller for us. And somehow it does restrict us from giving the client the kind of wall panel designs that they want. Along with it, sometimes what we feel is the client comes up with the requirement of having a dark room, right? They want a lounge kind of home theater kind of feel, but there are a lot of windows. And then to cover them up, you are putting up the whole facade up to that look. And but then asking us to cover it from inside, it just doesn't go, hand in hand. So yes, sometimes we do face challenges with if we talk about the glass or the way we are able to cover it. But on the other hand, if I talk about glass being an accessory, acting as the accent piece to the room, yes, my drapery works very well. I'm able to work in with a lot of fabrics. The whole chic vibe of a room changes as per the linens or the textures that I'm using. So if I talk about glass in general, it works in our favor when in bringing up a lot of character to the room. But on the other hand, when it is acting up as a restriction to bring in the wall highlighting, it tends to bring in, it makes us come to a point where we are not left with a lot of options. And that is where our client has, difference of thought with us, or then how we are supposed to move it along. So that is how I think glass is playing its nature in interior designing for us.
Okay, I just have I'm very keen to ask you a question that normally in all my sessions, I try to kind of, I would say promote the use of glass. Why? Because when you have four walls and they're gonna be same for the next 25 years where I'm gonna work or for my residence, I mean, it just adds on to the monotony that I do in that room. If I sleep, I'm just sleeping in four walls of same colors. If I work, I'm working, maybe my work is interesting, but at the end of the day, you are still, if you're in a desk job, when you move around 360 degrees and you see the same things, sometimes does that not become very monotonous? So probably I always promote that, something that glass helps is just change everything. I mean, it just can change your mood. Why? Because maybe suddenly a rain has started outside and you want to kind of, you just get attracted to it. So when it comes to interiors, what are your views? I mean, don't you think that designing it with the changing, I would say, weather outside, the interiors of the house, I know it's a very tricky thing and very difficult, but don't you think that should be added as an element, which is always a dynamic element?
See, if I talk about as an element, the windows, the shade, the kind of light that works around, if I talk specifically, let's take an example of a dining area. From the time you start using the dining area, generally in our houses, the dining area, the hush around it starts around 7:30ish. It's the time when the sun is not acting up or not. But if yes, I have a highlighter window to work around with it, it brings in a lot of light. Then as gradually and slowly the day starts working around 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock towards the evening, it brings in the dawn and the whole thing to it really pops up. So yes, windows are an element that we play around, or sometimes we create that mirage effect just with the help of glass only. But it is contrary to what our clients require. And again, if I talk about if there are windows, then they need buffet counters also. Then they need glass
Mm,
cabinets also. So there is where we get limited with our options. Supposedly, they
correct.
need a 10-seater dining. Along with that, they need a buffet counter. Then they need extra chair sittings. Then they need highlighters. So when we are restricted, along with what walls are not left with us, there is where because see, we do understand the pattern of putting up really nice windows, curtains, putting up two lamps on a buffet counter and making the wow effect to that. But if on the contrary you talk about, it does not bring in a lot of practicality to the client. They find it that they'll not be able to maintain it, or they might have practical issues maintaining it. So that is where it contradicts. But in general, I do like a lot of glass, but in proportion to my room.
Okay, great. So probably client is acting as the wheel in the spanner here.
Yes.
So okay, let's move on to a next question. So I mean, I do have, I mean, although we are short of time now, but I do have two questions which I'm gonna sum up together. Wherein, what do you think about the safety and security that you probably would want from fenestration systems, and at the same time, what is it that you would want the future fenestration systems to probably be like? I mean, what are your expectations from the industry?
Um, I'll say that flexibility is one thing that I would really want. As you said very well about wood, that it's very flexible and it is able to work around different components altogether. I would want what in future I expect is that yes, they work as a swift movement towards highlighting the facades in a different manner. Along with it, if I talk about security in general, I guess we are doing every bit of what we can do to have these huge glass fixtures covered. If we are in talks with so many companies who are providing the best of the solutions, so I guess we have that covered. And if I talk about making it more secure using the right kind of DGU glass, or if I talk about security glasses, that part of it we are already doing. You know,
Mhm.
people were very paranoid when they got to know that okay, on the ground floor there are not gonna be any grills. So
Yeah,
letting go of grills was very difficult to bring into the traditional minds of Indian mentality.
yeah,
कि ground floor के ऊपर grill नहीं होएगी. How are you going to be secured? Your people actually used to say that you're
correct.
mad. You're saying
Yeah,
that
yeah, I
there is
can
not
relate
gonna
to
be
that.
any grills. But when you bring in the easier solution, it's all about if I talk about our design style at our studio, it's more client oriented. We are completely engrossed with what our client deals with every day. You know,
Mm-hmm.
many a times it is one of the very common questions when I start designing the house. I ask the person, what is your routine? What's your daily routine? Sometimes it is somewhere that only the mother or the kids are going to be at home, or they are reluctant in using a lot of aluminum fixtures, or they're like, okay, we don't need glass here, this is not a safer part of the house, or the colony is not. So yes, these questions come up to us, and over there we have tried to make the security being one of our most important priorities. So that kept aside, our companies that we are dealing with, they are providing us very good solutions for that. So I'm pretty much
Mm-hmm.
contented with what we are having there. And if I talk about the future, the only thing that I want is, yes, they should work a little towards sustainable, practices. They should be energy efficient, is what they can help us, make the houses, or leaving least of carbon footprint as we can while designing these houses. And I guess flexible. That's it. I guess these are the three things that I really want from future fenestrations.
Great. So I take one thing from out of those three, which is flexibility, adding more flexibility for interior designers. So that's my lesson for this particular session. Thank you very much, Pallavi, for being with us today. And for our viewers, any questions that you guys have, you can always WhatsApp. Oh, sorry. I mean, send a message to us on Instagram or probably some WhatsApp as well. And we'll be pleased to contact Pallavi for any answers that we can get from her, which are basically in the benefit of architectural industry. Thank you, Pallavi, very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
very
you for
much.
having me. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.